All right, friends. Our guest teacher today is Toshma Graves, who is awesome. You know I love you. And she's a fantastic teacher, and you'll be going like 2 hours teaching, and get ready to take notes. And then you're going to go on the field trip. And oh my gosh, a wealth of information. Girls, we started class. Erica, we started class.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So wealth of information. You don't want to miss anything. So I'm going to go. Export your contacts.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
We're gonna go through
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You, usual in Atlanta, you're outnumbered.
Always. But look, to be in a room full of beautiful women, I don't mind.
You knew exactly what to say.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. You knew exactly what to say. Okay. So, I'm cheating here just a little bit. I call myself doing this by memory. My name is Toshma Graves. I am, July 1st was my 4th year here with Keller Williams. March of 2019 made my 14th year in real estate, full time. So I am going to tell you a little more about me after we hear about each other and why I'm standing before you. Because we all like to know that, like, who is this chick? Why is she up here? What's she got to say? So I'd like to add some validity to why I've been chosen to educate and entertain you today. Okay, so first I'd like to hear about you guys. So I'll start with Doreen. Doreen, tell me how long you've had your license, what did you do before, and one new thing, because I know you guys play this game already, one new thing that no one knows about you.
They're going to know everything about us. I think. My name's Doreen. My dad was in real estate in Florida, so I kind of grew up with it and around it. I've got a handful of investment properties when I lived in Florida, and then I did some renovations here as well. I got my license a month ago, if that, so I'm brand new. I'm also a flight attendant. My daughter's 8, and oh my gosh,
Something
that's
we
a
don't know
I
about you.
have secrets. I'm so boring.
Something we would just never, that you don't mind sharing. Something that we would just never know about Doreen.
I have 2 half brothers and a sister that I don't know where they are.
Okay, perfect. Now, beautiful young lady, I don't see your name tag, and I'm terrible
Oh,
with
it's
names.
right here. I'm Amina Wall. I've had my license for 4 months now.
Okay, 4 months.
What else would you like to know?
What did you do before?
I worked as an assistant for a pension planning company. And right now, I'm just focused on school and getting the hang of real estate.
Okay. What is something that no one yet knows about you in this room?
I'm obsessed with astronomy, astrology, all that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Deborah.
I'm Deborah Hughes. I was in the mortgage business right out of college, then stayed home and raised 3 daughters, and then owned a clothing store from hell.
Not just any old clothing store.
And then I decided I love to renovate. So for some reason I think that translates to being a real estate agent. I don't think it does, but and that's it.
Okay, something that we do.
Oh, I always come back when people ask this. I, at one time in my young youth, dated Woody Harrelson. However, let me clarify. He was not Woody Harrelson that we know. He was just some college-looking young kid that became Woody Harrelson that we all knew. He had just started filming Cheers, which I didn't even know what Cheers was, and he had not been on the air yet. I just met him. I used to live out in LA, right in college. I went out to school out there for a little while. But he was not Woody Harrelson. That's just what I like to say.
But still, we love him.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, now I gotta get.
I
I
like literally a month. Super, super new to this. I have two small children, two little girls. They're a second grader and a 4-year-old, and been a stay-at-home mom for the past 10 years. Was in insurance before that. I'm an aerobics instructor, dancer in the mornings, and love homes. Just love everything about them.
Okay.
And let's see, I can't tell you that. so-
Right.
No, just kidding.
We are being videotaped. It's not by my choice.
When I was in insurance, I worked for Berkshire Hathaway Company, and I had dinner with Warren Buffett.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
just the 5 of us.
She tried to top you, Deborah.
I tried. I did
job.
try. He
I'm
flew us
telling
out to Omaha and
That's
let us up at a
impressive.
hotel and let us pick a piece of jewelry out in his, because we were like top producers, and so yeah, it was nice.
You taught me. Frat Boy Woody was just Frat Boy Woody.
I'd rather meet Warren
Yeah.
Buffett.
Yeah, I would rather meet Warren Buffett.
Maybe not as cute, but this one was
Yeah, for
sure. Okay, John.
John Green Sr. I have 2 young boys, a 1-year-old and an almost 4-year-old. He'll be 4 next month. Prior to this, I've done insurance. I've coached collegiate basketball, track and strength and conditioning, sports performance. Let me see what else. I've worked a lot of different jobs.
Okay.
I got my license at the end of January of this year. I started here in February. Let me see.
Well, why
what
did I
else.
see you at the last night?
Oh, because I was still working. I had it. Oh, and I came from logistics. I had an account executive position when I left UPS briefly, since like November, and so I went full time here. Just a transition. I had to get out of UPS. Everyone driving me crazy.
Okay.
No, seriously.
Okay.
What else? Something interesting about myself.
That no
Joe.
one knows in here.
I briefly was a preschool teacher.
Ooh.
I can see that.
Patience of Job, yet aggressive. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's good. You don't need that combination.
I,
Right?
nah, I use it each and every day with my kids. Trust
You're
me.
real patient. My kids about
Oh, okay. Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica. I used to, well, I still do. I started real estate with investing. I invested, when I moved here about 10 years ago, I started buying houses and holding some of them and then remodeling them and selling some other ones. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so nervous.
We're
But-
family. Don't be nervous.
No,
You're not the one on this
is
camera
not
right
like,
now.
This is probably the 4th time
Yeah.
we've done this, and it's just like, okay, here we go again.
these
Close
people
your
here
eyes.
Way to set the bar, ladies.
But yeah, that's what I did before. I was investing and remodeling houses, and now I have I've had my license for about 4 months now, and basically, like I said before, I was giving away a lot of commission, and I just decided to get my license.
Where did you move from?
From San Diego, California.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Perfect. And something we don't know about.
I divorced and remarried my same husband.
Awesome.
So yeah.
That was one hell of a fight.
That's awesome.
Wow.
After 10 years, I remarried the same guy.
like a movie.
That's special. That is.
After being divorced for
unusual.
10 years?
That's
Wow.
That's special.
Yeah, you have to
That's
find
unusual.
yourself.
19 and 8. After 11 years, we remarried and we have an 8-year-old.
Start
Yeah,
back
you said
over.
18.
Why not?
Sometimes, you know,
22,
soulmates
yeah,
just happen
19
like
and
that.
8.
Woo.
Break apart to find each
Girl.
other.
Well, congratulations. All right, Chanel.
So Christina,
I'm Chanel Mikey. Man, you guys have made it really hard for me. I'm sorry. I don't even
We
get
all
to say.
have
Mine
You
sounds
shared
better
something
than it really
interesting
was.
with us the other day, but I guess we already know that.
Yeah. Okay, so I have had my license since 2006. I worked in the business for about 2 years. Right before the market started to crash, I got out. And so I've been back for about a month and a half, 2 months now. I think a month and a half. And before this, I still do work as a counselor, a professional counselor in a private practice. And I don't have anything. I was homecoming queen, and I got voted best personality in my senior class.
Well, there you go.
And I worked at the Georgia Crisis and Access Line, so I took crisis calls, and I talked to people every day for like 10 hours a day who wanted to die.
That's all it counts.
And my very first call,
You so trumped us.
my very first call was this lady, and she like was literally gonna kill herself. She just was looking for a place for her dogs. The worst. I was like, okay,
How do you just absorb all of that
I have to go home and
energy? You're such
I
a
picked up the
like,
phone and make
Yeah.
sure she didn't.
you're
I had
such
to
a
hold her on the
positive.
phone until the police got there.
Wow.
Like I had to keep her.
It was that
Yes.
serious.
Yeah.
Police will come for those calls.
Yeah, her
I think
husband.
those would happen all the time.
110%.
Yeah.
Who else
If
would?
you say you're gonna die, you're talking to a licensed counselor and you say you want to die.
But I would think they get those calls all the time.
Yeah.
People just
Sure.
depressed.
Man, I
Do
could,
you-
I
World
could
is-
see you being able
Do you
to
ever
do
wonder like why you chose that? Do you know why you chose that? You're a counselor. You like talking to people, and do you ever wonder why you just decided to go that route? Or you're just a strong A person?
I don't
you know
know,
what I'm saying?
because it wasn't for money. I didn't make any money doing it. I was just out every day. So I
I'm
had to
just
Can I
saying,
have your number?
like, you just really wanted to be a helper.
So that's the coolest things I could think of.
See, now, there is a reason why we do this exercise. Tell me why. Tell me why you've been told we do this.
To lighten it.
I don't know.
Build some rapport.
To make it feel
Open
more
it up.
fun.
anything. Why do we?
For us to be able to relate to one another.
Connection.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay? All of those things. And the reason I do it in this class, or session, I hate to say class, sounds so clinical. This session is because my role as facilitator of finding and selling homes correlates very closely with the class you took before, which was the buyer consultation. Is that correct? Okay. So I'm a huge proponent of the buyer consultation. Somebody else got to teach that, but I love that class. And you'll hear me
Next time.
reflect on that a lot because it's critical to making this a success for you. And what we do in the needs analysis in the buyer consultation is ask all these questions, because then it makes getting your client to a yes a lot simpler. And as usual, we don't look like our experiences are not what we look like. So we make a lot of suppositions about people and their demographic and their history just by looking at them, because that's how we process information and move along about our day. I have a psychology degree, by the way. So, so that's just how we process things. But it's death to you being successful in this business if you don't ask questions. Don't make any assumptions. Ask a million questions. And the way I get people into my buyer consultation is to let them know, hey, it's just like going to the doctor. If you call your doctor and say, hey, I got a headache, they don't just give you your prescription. And you're like, why are you asking me about my grandma's predisposition? You know, like, what does that have to do with my headache? Because they don't want to diagnose you improperly,
Sure.
right?
You
Knowledge
need
is
all the
power.
information from
So-
Knowledge is power.
We're not going to be order takers. We're going to be consultants and advisors, and that's how you make the money in this business. So anybody can go find a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but when you know that, hey, I like to look at the stars and analyze them, when I'm looking at this house and I'm walking through it and I call you and I still don't see your name tag because I'm not going to remember your name. Amina. And Amina says, I walk in this house and I'm like, Amina, this is the house for you.
Skyline.
I can see the stars so clearly from this deck. You gotta get over here. You don't think Amina's gonna tell her boss, hey, I gotta go, I need to take a long lunch and come look at this house?
with a good patio.
Absolutely.
Or you can.
Those are the things that we do. So it's important that you ask a million questions, and you're going to hear me say that all the time. And they don't have to be rapid fire questions like you feel like you're in a Spanish Inquisition. does need to be more consultative in conversation. Okay? So keep those things in mind. Some of the things that you hear about people, just write them down or take a mental note. What makes their face light up? These are the things, or what makes their face make any kind of response, or their body language. You know when you're reeling somebody in when, by the way, their body moves. Or you know that you're not connecting by the way their body moves. So those are the things that you want to take note of in order to ultimately get to the yes. That's the core of what we're going to do. What does the yes mean? They said yes to the house, and you're the next step to getting your check. Okay? So, a little bit about me, other than my 4 and 14. Why am I up here? Well, because Stacy made me do it. Did you hear that, Stacy? Stacy made me do it. No. I am here because I work a lot with buyers. I've been in this business, like I said, 14 and a half years almost. And I started in the business in a boutique firm that just focused on new construction buyers. So this was long before the internet. People actually came into the office to look at houses because they couldn't see them for themselves. And I started off having to preview 250 communities before I could sit at the front desk and take a client. 250 communities. So all of my time was spent riding around, looking at communities, looking at houses, studying floor plans. There's practically not a house built.
That was what you had to do?
That's what I had to do before I could take a client.
That's wonderful.
Yes. So anything built from 2005 to now, I can probably look at the front of the house and tell you who built it and what the floor plan looks like.
Wow.
Okay? So you will hear me say that. And these are things that I'm just going to give you nuggets that have helped me be my level of success. My level of success is different from everybody else's. You all have different goals. But I'll share with you what I do because we're an open book business anyway, so you can go find out. But the reason I bring that up is because it was really important when you sit down at your consultation and you're asking all these questions, you're already formulating in your mind, where am I going to sell this person a house? Because you've already done your homework. Your job is to maximize the client's time, minimize your time. You know, like it's always about them, but in your head you're going, if I'm working with buyers, I don't want to show you 50 houses. I don't want to show you 20 houses. I don't want to show you 10. In my consultation, I'm down to, if I show you more than 5, you need to fire me.
There you go.
It took me a long time to look somebody in the eye and say that, because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to fire me. But they need to, because that means I didn't do my homework. So it's critical that you preview. That's one of my nuggets. If you don't have any business going on, great segue. I don't bet you printed it out, actually. Dang it. What is our job description? Do we know
Salesperson.
what's our job description as a salesperson in real estate?
Transact sales.
Give service.
Yeah, there's actually 5 things that you should be doing.
Oh,
We're therapists.
it was in our books.
Yeah, there's 5 things that you should be doing every day.
Prospecting.
Huh?
Prospecting.
Lead generation.
Okay.
Going on.
So, and they're not necessarily in any order, necessarily. Oh boy, I wrote lead order. Lead gen.
Yeah.
Okay, so lead gen, what else?
Hold on.
Uh,
I forgot, what chapter was that?
Okay, so it sounds like everyone, based on what you said to me, everyone has worked in a corporate environment, so of some sort. So when you took the assignment, they gave you a job description, right? You always knew what you're supposed to do. So this is no different. You are the CEO of your own company. So what is your job description? What are you supposed to be doing every day to make $1 for your family?
Sell houses.
No,
appointments.
find clients.
But how do you sell
appointments.
houses? Okay.
Write contracts. I'm looking at my thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I always look through the database.
Alright. How about scripts and role play?
Yeah, okay.
Is it in your book? Is that
I
in
don't
here?
know.
We
Be-
have
be a
leads,
professional.
appointments, agreements, contracts, and closings.
Okay.
Is that what you're looking for?
Two seconds.
Here. Oh, no. Wait, hold on.
You guys-
Build relationships, ask for business, ask for referrals, come from contribution, is that what you're?
Not quite.
No.
Eliza, where are you?
I'm looking at the,
She's at the very, very beginning.
at the summary,
Oh,
at the very beginning. But that's not where we're at, that's what I was.
looking at. Gotcha.
Who knows the most in this class? Because I'm sitting next to you next to the test.
Yeah, exactly. The person that wrote the test.
Yeah, I guess I just got to memorize these little sections because I'm a little bit
It's
all
like-
over the board here.
50
I
questions,
don't
right?
even want to think about
I don't even know.
That's what she said. I thought 50 questions.
I'm sure before we take the test.
Okay.
we'll be all right.
We'll get the little
Longer than
numbers.
2 seconds. Read it to us.
Oh, that's on your desk. I got it.
Oh, I almost had it. Lead generate, lead
Mhm.
follow-up, appointments, negotiate contracts, practice scripts.
Appointments, what? Negotiate contracts.
I was gonna say she's writing up there too.
Wait, come on, didn't I?
So lead gen, make appointments, scripts and role play, negotiate contracts. And you said lead follow-up.
And I,
Lead follow-up, yeah, we don't have that one.
and I see you got it in a plaque, so I'm assuming you keep that up at your desk to remind
I'll
yourself.
keep that at my desk.
There you go.
And at 14 years, it just got on my desk 2 years ago.
Still.
Oh, sorry. Critical, ladies and gentlemen, that you know what you're supposed to do every day. So if you're not doing one of those 5 things, you're definitely not going to make any money. And if you don't do all of those 5 things, you will not be selling any houses.
Bad phones here.
Okay, so part of scripts and role play and part of lead gen and part of lead follow-up is previewing. Okay, so when we preview property, that can be open houses, that can be, I'm a favor of new construction because that's where I cut my teeth. That's the easiest place to go preview. You go in one community, see 5 different floor plans, ask the person in there all the questions. What's the HOA like? What are the restrictions like? What am I close to? All that stuff, it usually comes in a nice little pretty brochure. You study that information. So when you get the call, when you're at your mixer, when you're at the kids' game and your person next to you goes, hey, so what's going on and so and so and so. Oh yeah, they have great floor plans. They have this, they have that. And you're like, oh my gosh, you are the expert. You're doing your work. If you don't have anybody to talk to, you should always be previewing. Because you're going to find an opportunity to meet other people. One of my A-list clients, one of my wealth determining clients, I met previewing open houses. That one person, that one family alone has generated me millions of dollars in revenue over the past 10 years. One person that I met previewing open houses. Okay? The lead follow-up comes in just like I kind of role played with Amina. If I'm standing in a house and I know that I've spoken to her and she loves stargazing and I'm standing on this porch going, man, this is the joint, I'm going to call her and be like, hey, just want to follow up on our appointment the other day. Man, we can't wait till next Tuesday to see this house. You got to come now. That's lead follow-up. And then script and role play. Again, you practice on strangers. Okay? Going through the process of how you service people, things of that nature, speaking with the on-site agent, making relationships, all of that is script and role play. But these are the 5 things, ladies and gentlemen, that you need to be doing every day that you plan to make $1. Yes, ma'am.
So when we go through and you're showing time, we just put agent preview, right? If we're just gonna walk through. Okay.
If you'd like to be professional about it, which I do recommend.
Yes, I am.
Or you can go use your super key and just get in.
Yeah, I mean, you can just set the appointment in general, but if you really want to be professional about it, you can let them know you're not bringing a client and just say it's a preview. It's totally fine.
And then they ask for follow-up, and then I just put the
You can give them
follow-up of what I
feedback.
think. Okay.
That's another reason why I like doing new construction, because I don't have to tell them anything. I just go. And I can go anytime. Okay? Questions?
Do you have an area that you like to, because you can't be an expert of every area, or do you have an area you like to focus in?
how you run your business is really like your fingerprint. I mean, you're going to learn systems to help you be successful, but what your niche is may be different from mine. You may want to be a specialist. That may be what makes you stand out for everyone. I'm a relationship business. My business is 97.6% referrals. So right now, as of yesterday, I have 26 closed transactions. Out of those 26 closed transactions, there's only 2 of them that I met at an open house, which is my other source of business. Everybody else was referral and sphere.
And all over town?
And they're all over town because I'm a referral business. So they call me today and they're like, hey, I'm going, as soon as I leave y'all, I'm going to Locust Grove to do a walkthrough.
Wow.
Because I have clients that live in Hampton and Locust Grove and McDonough, and I have clients in Cumming.
Or-
Is that a recommendation? No, but that's what works
That's how
for
you
me.
have it.
Where are you located? Where you
I actually live in Midtown.
Well,
Wow.
I
But
guess you.
When I started in the business, I was way out in Powder Springs. I had a house that took me 25 minutes just to get to the highway, so that didn't work. But so to that segue, so I've worked always with buyers, and it wasn't until I came to Keller. Well, let me not say that. I did have a stint in when the market imploded that I had people trying to sell their homes, so I did some short sales and was the listing agent. But mostly my business is our buyers. So I know how to work the buyer market. Now, again, everybody's level of success is different. What your goals and intentions are for you and your family are totally different. I'm going to share mine with you, just to give you some perspective, because you will hear the philosophy of most successful agents is listings to last, listings to leverage. Keller Williams' philosophy is listings to leverage and listings to last. I'm a buyer specialist. So to give you some perspective, 2015 when I came over, I had half business with my other brokerage and half business here, literally the middle of the year. So my middle of the year just working with buyers, and I was a showing partner. I had my own business, but then when I came here, I was partnering with the agent that actually encouraged me to come over. So I was her showing partner, and that wasn't a tremendous split. So just in the half of the year, I did 35,000 here, and then I did another 22 at my other brokers. I was just coming out of the water, by the way. Like, I lost everything in the market. I'm just gonna keep it real with you, because you hear a lot of fancy, fluffy, sexy stories about this business, and that's another reason that they probably chose me. Because when I came here, I couldn't even afford the 108 every month. I'm just keeping it. I was like, Brad, no. I was like, Brad, I can't. He was like, Tasha, you can't. I was like, Brad, no. So, you know, I tell a real story, but I love what I do, and I've regained practically everything and then some. So 2016, closed 24 transactions, and my GCI was 167. So 2015, I made 60,000. 2016, I made 167,000.
Jeez.
I like that
tell you.
$100,000 jump a year. I'll take that.
Sales side. Sales side means buyers. My sales side was 21. So out of 25 transactions in 2016, 21 of them were buyers. That's on the 70-30 split. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's that referral base, so that's where a lot of it comes from.
I'm working with buyers though. That's right. My feet are on the ground every day. 2017, 28 transactions. 21 of them were buyers. My GCI was 231.
I'll take that too.
I don't know about y'all, but I lived pretty nice on 231.
Dang, my heart just dropped.
Last year, I was goofing off because my daughter, I'm a single parent. When I got into real estate, I was married and had a young baby. Husband got deployed, so I was a single parent anyways. And that's when I made the decision to come out of corporate America and go into real estate, because I needed the flexibility. The little ones, I had my little one in the car seat, 18 months old, 2 years old.
Looking at houses, right? Yeah.
When you chose to work with me, you chose to work with me and my baby. I've never lost a client
Because your baby was
because I had a baby.
Hey, that might be leverage. I don't know.
Okay.
It is.
Get yourself
So-
a baby.
I had both my sons.
Last year I was goofing off because she was a senior this past year, going into her senior year, and I was going through all my emotions. So I did 25 transactions, and I only did 177.
While she was goofy.
Oh,
19 of them were buyers. And so far this year, like I said, I'm pacing 25. I've closed 20. Yesterday was the 26th one, so that one's not on here. So right now my GCI is at 147. So I plan to end the year right over 300, or right over 250. Let me say 250 because my price points are not quite where I wanted them to be. But again, that's the business I have when I have referrals.
after this year.
So when you say your GCI,
That's how much income I earned.
after you pay for 30%.
That's before I paid the
Before the
30%, but it's
30%.
only 15,000 out of that. So.
Okay. Okay.
That's amazing and
So.
very, very inspiring.
Very impressive.
I share that not for any other reason than to say
We know.
for me,
Motivational purposes.
I can live okay
Yes.
working with buyers. You know, so
Well, and then when they call you, I personally am like more attracted to the idea of buyers. I know I heard yesterday there's a lot of run around, a lot of this, a lot of that. But then every other real estate agent I work with, no, you want the listing. I'm like,
It's easier, but
it's
I think
easier, but that
buyers
sounds
would be
lazy to
easier
me.
it's just a different skill set. And the reality is, when you leave this door and you tell someone that you are an agent, they immediately think of buyers. They don't necessarily think of the person that needs to sell their home. That's
Yes.
a different skill set. So you could literally walk out this door and tell somebody, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent." It's like, "Oh yeah, I was thinking about buying a house." They don't really say, "Oh yeah, I was thinking about selling my house." You've got to give a different script when you're trying to emote someone to say, "Oh yeah, I need to sell my house." So we go through this exercise because, quite frankly, this may be the quickest way for you to get to a check. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you want to get to the check so that you don't leave the business. So whatever that looks like,
110%.
we got to get you to the check. I need an A personality that likes structure and likes to keep time. Who can do that for me?
Not me.
Sherry, thank you so much. Sherry, tell me really, really briefly, how long have you had your license?
Just over 9 months now.
9 months. Okay, perfect. And what did you do before?
I still do. I'm with Hosea Feed the Hungry and Homeless out of Atlanta for the past 20 some odd years, and that's my passion.
Awesome. I volunteer every Thanksgiving. I brought clients last year. Or this
Yes!
time. So, okay, it's something that they don't yet know about.
Tell us something good.
I am in a turmoil right now because I'm being pulled to deepen my relationship at Hosea, where my passion lies, and I want to do what I feel like I've been called to do in real estate. So it's like I can help people over here, but I need to do this. So I'm torn right now.
Are you employed with them?
Yes.
Yes, I asked you that before.
50 to 60 hours a week. So.
And then you're trying to put real estate in between.
Girl.
It's a transition.
And I mean, I love this, but I love that. So, I mean, that gives me the warm and fuzzies. Last week, I literally stood between the sheriff that was evicting a woman and her apartment. I mean, he was physically telling me, if you don't move, I'm going to have them to move you. And I was saying, no, but the check is on the way. And my coworker pulled up on the grass and brought the check, and I handed it to the lady. I said, she accepted it.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the universe that says that you can't do both.
There's
Nothing at all in the universe.
You'll
that
find
says
a
you can't
way.
do it.
yeah.
Find a way.
Okay.
If you
You're
want to,
structured and organized and
You'll find a way.
passionate. You will be successful on both ends. Absolutely.
So to that end, I have until our appointment is at
Yeah, what is-
12:15, I think. So if you can please, Sherry, stop me at 11:45.
Okay.
And then that gives us time to pack up The property is literally around the corner.
How
We're
long
going to
does
do a
it
field
normally
trip.
take at the property?
Oh, we're going to see a property.
We're going to
For
see
real,
property.
for real.
Great question. Ideally, would love for you to get it down to 20 minutes, but the reality is,
45.
the reality is until they give you 7 no's as to why this is not the house. So if we stay, the longer we stay there, that means we're closer
Do
to.
we leave our stuff?
You guys are going to be
We're
client.
the client.
We're the
Do
client.
we leave our stuff?
No, you can take it with you because then you leave after
I'll
we're
put it in the car.
we're done.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, do you guys have any preliminary questions for me?
No, ma'am.
We
How
good?
do you become a showing agent?
Love
What's
the
a
question.
showing- What's a showing?
Let's parking lot it. Is this the one I can write on?
It's
I'm so
supposed to
scared.
be. It's
No,
supposed to be
right.
an
I don't think it is.
It's supposed to be an app
Just get another
that
piece.
has agents
That
just
made me
go
nervous.
open doors for people.
It makes me nervous too. That's why I started on the paper.
Markers.
So the short answer is, make sure you join the closed Facebook groups. We're kind of jumping ahead. Let me table that because I'm going to come back to some of the closed Facebook groups, and it'll make sense then. Okay, so our objectives today are those 3: find homes to show the homes like a pro, which we'll do at the property, and getting to the yes, which is one step closer to your check. We like payday. Okay. So, have you guys all, and I use guys inclusively, hopefully I don't offend anybody. You'll hear me slip between my structured language and my y'alls, because I am a Southern Belle. Yes, I am. So, are you guys familiar with Georgia MLS?
Yes.
Perfect.
No.
Are you guys?
Georgia, not so much.
I've not even been on Georgia
Yeah.
MLS.
Yeah.
I've been using the FMLS.
Okay. You guys are more familiar with FMLS?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So when I heard Stacy mention someone in here is already writing a contract. All right? Did I mishear that?
I sold one.
You sold one. Perfect. Okay. Anybody else in a process? Buyer consult, taking people out?
Yeah, all of the above.
So we haven't gotten 2
I'm
contracts
hoping
yet.
so one day.
No, I've closed.
Close. Perfect. Okay.
That's my dream to one day become a real.
Become real.
You are a real agent. Okay. So when you guys got your prospect, you sat them down to do your consultation. I'm trusting and hoping and praying. If not, the next one you definitely will. And then they said, okay, we're going to look at houses. Where did you go first? Where's the first place you go to look for homes?
MLS. FMLS, yeah. But
Just
what is
just
the
start
MLS?
naming them out.
What is it? EA-MLS and then the FMLS,
Yeah.
right?
FMLS.
Okay, keep going. I'm gonna write them out.
Georgia MLS.
Where else?
The Keller Williams website. I mean,
Realtor.com.
app.
Sometimes I go with Zillow.
Yeah,
My client sent me
I was
Zillow.
selling it. Yeah, I know, man. My clients are selling Zillow too.
Okay. Where else?
KW app.
The KW app.
Do you have to pay for Zillow to put a profile on there?
To be a premier agent.
Once you put it in
Depends on how much you
FMLS,
wanna-
they'll
Yeah.
How much you want to use it. I'm going to put that here only because, the KW app really is feeding from your MLSs.
And by prospecting, in your
Tell me more.
area. Like when they explain to you around what area they like to, be in. So I'll just drive through there and see if there's some vacant properties.
This dirty little word shows up again. What else? Where else do you find property for your prospective client, Deborah? Give me a different place than these.
Facebook, social media.
Yeah, social media.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Most definitely,
Facebook
yeah.
Marketplace.
It's the girl who doesn't have social media.
Sphere of influence.
Okay. Anywhere else?
Tuesday.
His
His
contact.
his sphere of influence.
Uh-huh.
Oh, she put that.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Sorry.
The Starbucks, the mall. I don't know, Walmart.
We gotta get our tags.
I know. I
What is
just
Nikki share?
I ordered one.
Oh, Spirit.
How about we say networking?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay. So, another that is, it's social media, but it's deeper than that, is your private groups. Do you know, and have you already been included in, added to, the many closed Facebook groups that we have with Keller Williams? It's imperative that you do that. That literally needs to be one of your next steps when you leave class.
Why
What are the
what's on
names?
that?
Because there are literally groups that are called coming soon. Like the only thing that goes on that Facebook group are listings that aren't listings yet.
I don't have Facebook.
Because the reality is, clients can do this without you. You have to add value. They can go on Zillow, like someone just said. The person sent me the Zillow.
Yeah.
Sent me the Zillow house.
Yeah.
I get them all the time. I'm like, and this is for free. And I'm sorry, I am structured, but not really. So that's why he's like keep me online. I do kind of bounce around. This is my buyer consultation flow chart. So this is what I go through when I do a buyer consult. This is how we're going to get you to your keys. When people come to me and they want to hit me with the, oh, well, I don't really need an agent because I found my own house. I said, that's wonderful. So let's look at how we're going to get you to your keys. Finding the house is number 5 out of 17 steps. So I don't care who finds the house. We got to make sure it gets to be your house. And when they realize they can't do all this other stuff without some help, then I have added value. But you'll hear that a lot. Well, why do I need you? I found my own house.
Yeah.
That's.
Can we get a
Can
copy?
we have
No,
Thank you.
I brought it this time because
Thank
people
you.
always ask me. But yeah, that's one way, and I'm very visual. Like that's my learning style. So I like to make things look appealing, write them down. But you can certainly. I was gonna say pass it around. Okay, so
That's
you.
a good thing to have up on your wall.
Do we have a group? Oh, the group.
Yeah, when
text.
Stacy's.
Oh, yeah.
I put those that's in my
What, so are
That's
you
in my
gonna name some of the
consultation.
groups?
package. So when I do a consult, I give them a package of information, and that flow chart is in the package.
Is the front of your package is your sticker?
That's my name is Toshma Pinckney Graves, soon to be Toshma Pinckney again. So my team is the Pinckney Group, so that's my brand.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just have it on stuff, on everything that I disseminate. Okay, so Facebook groups. Get into the closed Facebook groups. There's Keller Williams Closed Rawls group. There's the group for buyers and sellers only. There's the open house. Eliza, you asked me about being a showing partner. On the open house Facebook group, people are always looking for people to either hold an open house or show a house. And you just say, me, I can do it.
Okay.
And it is a source of income.
Yeah, I was
Especially
just about to
showing
say that.
houses.
They told me that.
It's a source of income.
$200.
You just go open the door.
You
They
literally
paid you to.
$25 a door.
He's opening the doors for other people's buyers.
Yeah.
yes.
I can absolutely do that. I got an
For me to
But-
get
but the
45
thing is,
people,
Paying me so you can go do that.
for me to sell and close 45 clients and 35 of them be buyers, I need somebody to open some doors for me. I can't do it all because I have 4 other pieces of my job. I got to write
I'll
the
do it
contract,
for you, girl.
negotiate the
Just
contract. You know that. So there's plenty of people like me and doing much more than me that always are looking for folks to open a door, and it's a source of income, and it allows you to do this part of your job, which was lead gen, leads follow up, because you're previewing.
Invite you to them.
So when you're showing houses to someone else, you're also going to use that time to preview inventory. Because trust and believe, when you have that visual of what's out there in the marketplace, the person's going to come. You're like, man, I just saw that house. And they're like, oh, I need a house with this, and this, and this community. And you're like, dang, I just saw that last week when I was showing so-and-so. When you have the inventory, the people are going to come. I promise you, they're going to come. Okay, so these are all places that you want to find property. Go into those closed groups because that's the value that you add. Those are things they cannot get from someone on their own. They can't get it on their own. Okay? And door knocking. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. So you said it's KW, just open house group. Like, are there
Yes.
specific names?
The Rawls group.
The Rawls group, like,
Yeah. Hold on, I'll show you.
it's, if you do a search more on the Rawls group, and they're all close, so you'll have to,
So they're all within the Rawls group.
yeah, you'll have to, yes, and you'll
Okay.
have to just ask permission, or have them,
If you friend me, I'll invite you.
thank you. But I think the initial, joining the actual Rawls group
Yeah,
page
it
has to be
was
done
asked.
by one of the office
Yeah,
administrators.
that's why I say when you ask to invite that, ask you which office you're at, and then they'll say they'll 24 hours or something, and they'll add you.
Yeah.
They're just gonna verify you.
Join those, ladies and gentlemen, and then in your local areas. There, if you're DeKalb County, join the DeKalb County little closed group or the Dunwoody
Next
group.
door, stuff like
Yes,
that.
do that because people are always talking about. They're always moving. They're moving something. They're like moving in, moving out. Need to rent a room. Need to do this. Oh, my parent passed, and I need to get all this stuff out of the house. Those are opportunities that are off-market opportunities. Okay.
There's 2 of them. I'm in 3. I can't remember if you type in KW.
Any questions about that? You can pass that around if you
I
want.
took pictures.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right. So, if you would pass that on back to you. So we're going to look at the subject property. So let's say we've gone through our consultation. We know what our client is or potential client is looking for, and we want to find homes. We want to find the right homes to show. So just for today, we're going to look at
This is where we're going today?
2 of the MLS. And yes, this is the house we're going to go to, so that's the address you can map Quest in.
Is this your
Oh,
list?
we're all following?
It's not, no, it's.
I think we're just gonna follow her there.
It's,
and then
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's what's.
Oh, good, because I need a little
Okay, I just said.
clarification on how to use that super key.
Perfect.
It's easy.
Okay, so this is the house that we're going to look at, but we also want to give our client how many houses? How many, Doreen, are you going to feel comfortable showing at one time?
At one time in one day,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 4.
Okay. All right. Eliza, how many are you going to feel comfortable showing
In one day?
in one day?
Oh gosh, I mean, I'm open, I don't know, because I haven't, but from my own experience, I would say 4 to 6, depending on, if they're reloads or they're local. or
How far
not
away
local,
from
how
each
far
other.
out.
It's a distance.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a big deal.
And Atlanta traffic and.
right.
Time of the day.
I don't know how to answer that just yet.
Okay, that's fair. Sherry, to get your person to the closing table, how many homes did you show?
Oh, God.
Oh,
In a day, sorry.
We did a marathon 9 one day.
Whoa.
Is there a particular reason why you did 9 in a day?
She was there from North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and I had 3 selected, and then she came down and she was like, "Oh, and I found these," and wanted to see them. And for some reason or another, all the ones she found were just like, I wish you told me this before because I could have eliminated these. The master's not on the main. You need the master on the main, but that wasn't in anything on there. But I could have previewed it.
And I didn't pay her to say that. You guys don't understand how, and I know it sounds tedious, and I know you're probably thinking, I'm not burning my gas. I'm not doing. Listen, it will save you time. And if you're not in front of a client and you don't have a client in your pipeline to work with, this is how you're going to get clients, is by previewing. I'm telling you. Because when you have the inventory in your head and in your energy, the people are going to be asking for it. And it's going to take you one time, one house. I have sold one time, one house.
Nice.
One time, one house. Now, it doesn't always happen, but it's definitely going to be one time, 3 houses.
So you access the showings through the Sopra thing that we
Yeah, you can just go and
Oh,
preview.
okay.
It's very easy.
And you can get it down once. I would recommend you not cheat yourself, especially those of you that are new in the business. Take the time and do an actual preview. Go in the house, walk through the rooms like we're going to do, and look at how the floor plan is laid out. Look at the finishes, all of that. Go in the backyard. Go find the mechanicals. See where this stuff is located, because this is what your client is paying you for. That's the stuff they don't know. They found the house. They might have found it. She brought it. This is the house I want.
Did she pass?
But then once you get in there,
She texted.
they're not going to know what to do. They're going to be looking to you. So you need to know what these things look like, where they're located, all of that, because that all builds your credibility, and that's all going to get you closer to the yes. Yes.
How many did you say that your limit is for showing?
So again, and this is just through Hard Knocks, guys. I've done the 9. I've done as many as people tell me they want to see. And through Hard Knocks, I've gotten it down to 3 to 5.
Oh.
But again, I put that in my consultation. My consultations are long. Now, if anybody asks you on the outside, they're 30 minutes or more, depending on your questions.
Do you have a list of questions for us?
You should have gotten questions in. What's the name? Oh, I'm so sorry. Kevin, did he give you questions?
I didn't get any.
Okay.
There's actually
It was like bullet points of things that we could
a questionnaire
Yeah, I was looking for
that's
something.
on the it's in KW.
Oh.
But yeah, there's actually a buyer's
I
question.
have like a lot of questions in my head that
But it goes
But
through
are they
everything.
the right
type
ones?
of
Write 'em
house
down.
you want.
Yeah.
Write them down and make that your list. Seriously.
So you say in your buyer's consultation that I'm going to show you a maximum of 5. Do you say it like that, or do you say if I have to show you where the
So I'll say, hey, Chanel, my job is to help you win. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to preview property. This is actually a segue. It is appropriate because I vet the homes. Part of my job to maximize your time is I'm going to vet the properties. So you send me 10 houses on Sunday. We're not looking till Wednesday. Please understand, I'm not going to vet the properties until Tuesday night because a home goes on the market today, it gets sold today. So how would you feel if you took off work and you got excited about this house, you saw it, and then ended up not being able to have it? So I'm going to vet the properties on Tuesday night. In the meantime, I'm also previewing properties so that when we get out in the field, we're going to look at 3 to 5 properties. Chanel, if we look at more than 5 properties, you need to fire me.
You will.
You're not.
You say that.
I say that, but it took me years to get there, and then I laugh.
They won't, because they'll fall in love with you.
And that's right, because then
That's why
you
you're
know,
a relationship person.
I throw the Southern Belle on there and I say, now the fine print says, if we look at the house and you love it, and then we don't win it, that's not my fault. So, we have to start over after that, then okay. But the reality is, if you've shown 5 homes and you haven't hit the mark, something is wrong. You didn't do an adequate buyer consultation, and you're about to perform malpractice. So
you didn't get
check
them to really think about what it is they wanted.
Yes.
And when I first moved to Dunwoody, the agent I had, I don't even remember her name back in the day, we were young parents and babies, and she did not say if you thought about schools. Not for her to tell us about schools. We put no thought, because we had babies, so school seems like
That was my
forever ago.
situation.
And we did not buy in the best school system. And one of the things I think I would want to do is say, make sure you've done your homework on the schools before we go out, because I would, looking back, I was like, because we ended up moving. Even though I loved the house, I ended up having to move.
This is sometimes a question in the consultation, but it's definitely a question in the first house or when we go to look at homes. I know this is a crazy question, Erica, but what's your exit strategy for this house? I know we're just trying to get it so that you can live in it now, but what's your exit strategy?
What do you mean when you say exit? What do you mean?
gonna
If
sell
there's a
it?
fire, or if
How
you
long are you
sell
gonna
it?
How long are we going to be here? But no, that's a great question because it gets them thinking. They're like, what do you mean? It's like, okay, we're going to get the home that you love today. how long do you see yourself in this property?
Till death do us part.
It really is a better question
Think like
in the
that.
consultation.
That's right, yeah.
If they're
Because
like, yeah, we plan, you know, our kids are small and we want to be in a walkable area right now, but we know that we'll have to move in a few years because of schools.
And that's the thing. If you ask, how long do you see yourself in this house? That question is going to come up because they're like, oh, well, we got family, we have little ones. We're, you know, I know this might not be the best school. Oh, I didn't really think about that. Well, we got little ones right now. Okay, well,
3 of them.
have you thought about schools? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what prompts that question. If they're like, look, I'm going to move in here and they're going to carry me out in a pine box. Well, that's 2 different types of houses.
Yeah.
Sure is.
It is. If they're going to carry me out, then
We
I
need to get that master on that man.
Yeah, we need everything on the list. If this is the house just to replace rent, an expense with an investment, then that's the kind of house we're looking for. So then our must-have list becomes a lot more flexible because we're going in knowing we're coming out. Does that make sense? But these are questions I'm telling you, I'm not telling you, but I'm telling you, my buyer consultations end up being like an hour and a half.
So
sometimes
one of your
2
main
hours.
objectives is to make sure they're looking now. Because you don't want somebody hemming and hawing.
My objective in our showing or in the conversation?
In the consultation, before you bring them out, it's like they want to find something
Oh yeah, we look at
relatively
homes
quickly.
on the
Okay,
big
'cause
screen before we go
sometimes
out.
people are like, oh, I'm flexible, and you know, a year from now, people are still taking them out and showing them stuff. Okay.
Okay. So you preview them with the client in front of, like, side by side on the computer? Or-
Depending on if they start getting fidgety, then I may just do it myself. Most of the time they're not. Honest to goodness, I've never had a 30-minute consultation. But when it goes long, if they haven't looked at their watch, and I'll look at my watch and say, you know what, I know I promised you da 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 da, or how are we feeling? And they're like, no, we just want to get to the end. I've not had anybody walk out of a consultation because it was less than 30, more than 30 minutes. But you're not going to win if you tell somebody they're going to be in there 2 hours. We don't want to do that. So I came up with the script through Hard Knocks, 30 minutes or more, depending on your questions. Because they usually are their questions. I can get through my stuff in 30, 45 minutes. Does that make sense? Okay. So, the question was how many. So there's no magic number. It's what works for you and your business. I will tell you, if you do work with buyers and that ends up being your niche, even if it's just for now, you're going to have to pace your tolerance level. What can your body take? Okay? And even if you're previewing or showing in a local area, with Atlanta traffic, you've got to build a good solid 10, sometimes 20 minutes in between each house just to get there. And remember, that's one buyer. If you need 5 sales, a month, if whatever your goals are, you got to realize how much time I'm going to spend with this one. Does that make sense? So you've got to give them adequate enough time. If you feel like you've gotten them close to this yes, which is what we're trying to do, then we're going to, is this the house? Every time. Is this the, you ask it whatever your script is, but is this the house? Are we ready to write a contract? Are we ready to make it yours? I don't use words like write a contract. It sounds too clinical. Are we ready to make it yours?
Ooh, that's a good little.
Okay. I have a little thing that I do. We'll
I'm
do
afraid
those
that I'm going to
Play
every
on
house
the
and be like,
emotion.
I want this house.
I'm ready to make it mine.
Okay. So I like to do no more than 3. I might do 5. 5 is my absolute max on a day on one person. If nothing else, because I probably have somebody else I need to see. And so if you're not ready to write these 5 houses, I need to get to the next one because I need to write the contract. I need to get somebody to a yes that wants to be a yes today. Does that make sense? Okay. So with that being said, we're going to take this house, and you can just watch up here. If you can do it on your computer, great, but you don't have to. For the interest of time, we're going to do a half-mile radius because that'll give us a really close perimeter for homes similar to this one. So if my client likes this house, 6225.
I can't
Okay.
see, I don't know what that says, but I'm assuming you're putting in the address.
I did. So
Okay.
what I did, I'm gonna do a map search. And I'm doing a 0.5 radius. So I'm gonna pull up homes that are
I
within.
love this guy.
Huh?
I love this.
Oh, I'm gonna pull up homes that are a half mile of this subject property because they've already told me they like this house. So we're gonna go see this house, and I need at least 2 others to show them, right?
Okay.
So this is how one of the ways I'm gonna find homes that are similar, hopefully. Okay. Now, I personally, and you can have your own philosophy on this, I personally do pendings as well. I do withdrawals, and I do expires. Anybody know why?
Pendings, the contract may not go through, and withdrawals and expireds, they're open, I guess, and you can probably get a listing out of it, maybe.
All right now.
Come on, I should have had my stars today. Stars out. Exactly, because again, you want to add value. They can find the active ones on their own. They're gonna send them to you and Zillow. Through Zillow.
Clearly.
But they may not be aware of the ones that have been withdrawn. That means that person wanted to sell at some point in time. Something happened that they couldn't. The same with expired. They absolutely wanted to sell, but again, something happened and it didn't sell. So I can pull those, and I'm going to have to do some extra steps. If I know this is the neighborhood they want to be in or the local area they want to be, then this helps me find property that they can't find on their own. My client can't find on their own. So we go through and we, find our homes. So this is another way to preview. Now I do this now because sometimes I just don't really have time to get out there and look at them. However, I've studied enough property. I'm going to go into the. Come on. That probably wasn't a good one. That wasn't a good one. Let me find one that's a resale. Let's do this one. Okay. So,
Oh, that's adorable.
just from looking at communities, looking at property, looking at floor plans, you start to interpret pictures. So in my consultation, if I know they don't want a yard that slopes off, or I know that they want a yard that's flat, I'm gonna start looking at the pictures that have been provided. If I know they don't want yard duty because they told me they don't want to do landscaping, this is not the house. So to Cherie's point, if she had sent you the list prior and you previewed, you could have knocked off half of that list of 9. You know how much wear and tear that was on your body?
Your car.
Yeah, not especially your car, but on your own body.
All day experience.
Okay? So I'm previewing. I'm previewing from my desk going, or my phone, and I'm going, okay, yeah, that one's not going to work because the trees are in the back. Now, will I have it in my part 2 list? Sure. But we're still doing 3 to 5. We're only going to look at that one if these 3 to 5 don't work. Because you've already told me you don't want yard duty. Does that make sense? Okay. So I will preview through the pictures. Another way to preview is drive-bys. So if you can't make an appointment, don't have time to make an appointment, you will do yourself a service by previewing the community. Okay? Because again, you can tell a lot. I have literally driven up to people's driveway and stepped out of the car, and I'm looking at the landscape and the topography, and I'm going, that slopes off in the back. That's not it. They have a 2-year-old and an 18-month-old. This one's not going to work. And that's the reason they're buying a house, because they want a yard. So I'm calling them. Eliza, this one's not going to work. I previewed the area. I won't lie. I'm not going to say I previewed the house, but I previewed the area and the house that it's not going to work. The yard's not going to work. Do you know how much they will appreciate that you have done the homework? I'm saving you time.
How many times are they like, oh, but I really, can we see it anyway?
It'll go on the B list.
Okay.
It'll go on the B list.
And you'll
Let me
us
show you
the
these
one?
other ones first.
Yes, let's see these other ones first. It'll go on the B
Makes
list.
sense.
But you only have to do that once, really. You only have to do that once with one of your clients, and they will, man, this person knows what they're doing. You know, they just save me time. Does that make sense? Questions? Yes, ma'am.
How do you tactfully do that? So I went and I previewed some in the evening because the area was like right on the border, and it was an area that was transitioning.
Do you have a sign on your car?
No, I didn't. But
So they know what you're doing, not.
well, no, my question was actually, so I saw some things that I knew they were not going to like, that they were going to be like, oh no. But I was so afraid from class of steering and things like that. It was like, okay, how do I tactfully tell them, you know what, you're not gonna like this house. You know, how do you do that without steering?
Well, if they have they have a checklist with you and they want a flat yard and they don't want this and that, and you go to preview it and you say, I just previewed this and it has.
So
That's
what's
objective.
wasn't
That's something
anything
objective.
like-
That's not what she's talking
Oh, okay.
about.
So I'll give you an example. You know, we had several conversations. I knew, you know, how they felt about various things. I even knew their political affiliation. And one of the houses that they wanted to look at on both sides, they had campaign signs for someone. They had up the Confederate flag waving. I'm like, this is not your
Tell
house.
them to go preview the area.
Maybe tell them to
Well, I didn't want to go.
No,
I didn't want to have them.
Oh, you did.
I
wanted to save the time.
Could you take a video and be like, here's your, here's the neighbors on either side, so
That's
you
a
could-
good idea.
Or tell them to preview the neighborhood, like, you know, there's some homes for sale in this area that you're looking at. Why don't you preview the area when you're, next time you're around and see what you think of the neighborhood?
Do you,
I don't
what
know.
is that,
That-
steering?
with
It's
the-
not
Is that steering?
necessarily?
No, that's not.
No.
That's actually a great answer.
Okay.
I love your answer, Doreen. Here, because this is just my personality, because that's the kind of stuff I would do. I would be right in front of the house and in front of
Picture you
the
like.
doing a selfie. And I just said to him,
Confederate flag behind your head.
I didn't say a word. I'm previewing.
I should have done that.
I'll just send you a picture of this is the house that you want.
But you don't want to waste your
the
time
better-
taking them there, right?
Yeah, the better, I'm not the better answer, but another answer, honestly, to answer your question, the way I would is Sherry, based, is it Sherry? Am I saying
It's
it?
Sherry.
Sherry, I'm sorry. So Sherry, based on the information that we discussed in our consultation and the things that you told me were important to you, I previewed, and this house is gonna go in our second list.
That's great.
And just leave it there.
Just
and
leave
then,
it there.
And be like, and there's gonna be a new agent in your in my office that's gonna take you to this. I ain't got time for that.
I mean,
right?
seriously, so did I answer the question?
You did. Thank you.
Did I do anything I wasn't supposed to do?
No.
Because I don't like orange, and frankly, I'm too cute to go to jail. So I don't want to do that either, and I don't want to lose my license. So I'm not going to say anything that's going
Orange is
to.
not the new black.
Incriminate.
That's right. And I will always tell people, go back and preview the area on your own. I tell people that all the time. I'll even pull it out in the contract. It says I cannot tell you anything in the purchase agreement. Go to the GBI website and do your own due
And
diligence.
go at night and on the weekend
Yes.
and check out.
If they told you they don't want to live in a community that has kids, you can't tell them this community has kids and say, hey, go back during school hours and see what you see. I didn't answer the question. Okay.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
I do have another one. When you're walking or when you're showing, I mean, I've heard it both ways. Do you allow them to walk on their own, or do you walk with them and highlight the things that were on their?
Perfect. Definitely table that question for our field trip because we will go through that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is one, like I said, one way that I will find property, the right properties to show a client. I'm going to go with 3 to 5. You go with what's good for you. You're going to visually preview through the pictures and see if it matches something that you know they like. I tell people all the time, send me a house that you fell in love with. I don't care what the price is. I don't care where it is. Just send me a house that you have fallen in love with so that I can see what excites you. And then my job, that's the script, and then my job becomes to replicate that house. So then I will online preview based on this is the house they sent me that they love just online. Because that's where the houses are sold nowadays, guys. Your house is sold online. Period. When we do our consultation, you know how many houses we weed out? I weed out the clients. They don't even want to go look at it. They're like, oh no, that's horrible. Oh, the pictures, oh, it's horrible. Oh, they had a bad photographer. And they do. I mean, they get real snooty real quick. It's, oh, it's just horrible. Oh, it's dreadful. And I'm like, so because I preview though, I may know that that's the best area for them, and quite frankly, that's where their dollars are going to buy them. So I'll say, you know what? I know it looks rough online. They just had a bad photographer. I might recommend, let's just put it on the list anyway, because I think it has good bones, and we'll talk about it when we go see it. Is that fair? And they'll, you know, but they're going to buy your listing online, period. So you're going to preview the way they preview and get those down to 3 to 5. Okay, that's my suggestion per day. But you know, if you're going to take them out more than one day, really no more. If you definitely know you're going to take them out more than one day, don't do it more than 3. Okay. Am I still good? I'm still good, right?
Mm-hmm. You're good.
Okay, perfect.
25 minutes.
I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's talk about some things that we need on our showing appointment. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Before we get to that, have you guys, I know the guys that have sold already have probably done this, but you guys that have not actually taken a person out yet, do you know how to set up the appointments for your showings?
Yes.
Through showing time and all that?
No.
Okay. And do you know what questions, how do you set appointments? You tell me. When you put your person under contract and sold them, what was your...
First thing I try to do before, because half the time people don't update their stuff like they're supposed to as far as taking the listings down, when they're pinned and all that, I call the agent. Do you have any offers on it? I see it's been on the market. How long has it been on the market? 2 days. Do you have any offers on it? If they tell me, have you gotten asking price yet or something close to it, my client is interested.
Okay. Did you guys hear that?
And this is for what type of listing? Active listing?
Whatever,
Just a listing.
whatever listing my
Whatever
client
you're about
wants
to go
see,
review.
yeah, or
Okay.
possibly not go see because I wasted my time before. I've had my lumps already as far as driving out to a property, seeing online that it's active. I get there, we want to put in an offer, and then I call after like, well, we're under contract. We're not kind of like, why haven't you updated this information in MLS or whatever?
I bet that happens all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that because they want backup contracts or they just hadn't done it yet?
All of the above.
Poor agents, yeah.
Okay.
All of the
Even
above.
when I went up under contract, it took forever for her to update. I was like, hello.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when you flip over to the listing side, you'll know why. Because I do it. I'm guilty. You probably talk bad about me because I will. I'll hold it out until I'm comfortable. Unless my client has said otherwise. My client. Because as the listing agent, I'm representing my seller. And my job is to sell their house.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I got a good offer today that they can change their mind tomorrow. Do you know how bad it looks to go under contract, go back off contract, go under contract, go back off contract?
Brings down the value for sure. Cause
So,
Yeah,
they're gonna say
I
something
look at
wrong
those
with
and
it.
go, what's wrong with that
Exactly.
house?
So is it frustrating to you, to me, when I become a buyer's agent? When I'm in the role of buyer's agent? Absolutely it's frustrating because I've said this, well, why are you not up there? You do this, you know what? No, I need to do my job as a buyer's agent and do exactly what John said. That is part of vetting the property. It's not just look it up online. Because again, they see it active on Zillow. You haven't done anything that they didn't do on their own. You need to physically speak with the agent. Not the receptionist, unless they're uniquely tied to that property. You need, if they have assistants and all that, that counts. But speak to that agent, text them, guys. If they don't pick up the phone, because they probably don't. If it's a hot property, I'm telling you right now, I don't pick up the phone either. I put it in my listing. Text me for availability. Text me for status. Because your phone will ring 1,000,000 times and you will not get your job. You're only saying, yes, it's available. That's not making you any money. You know what I'm saying? That's not lead generation. You know, but at any rate, so call the agent. And that's part of the expectation setting that we do in the consultation when I say, hey, I'm going to vet the properties the day before. Vetting doesn't just mean pull it up and, oh, yeah, it's active and I print it out and put it on the clipboard. No, it means call the agent. And I ask exactly those questions John asked and a couple more. Is it still available? Do you have any offers? Now, they don't have to answer those questions, but you need to ask them. Do you have any offers? And if your client said this was the house, how strong is that offer? Will the seller consider a backup? That's important to know. Will the seller consider that? Yes.
I've even asked, what's the offer? They didn't give it to me, but they did give me some good advice as far as writing an escalation clause, because I think it was like 19 offers on the property. And I'm like, what's the best offer? It's like, I'll give you this tidbit since you had the balls to ask me that question. He said, write an escalation clause, and we did. We still didn't get it because I think there was a cash buyer that got it, but still.
You need to have conversations with these agents, guys. It's imperative because you're going to get burned, wasting your time and gas, in addition to your clients, going out to show a house, and then it's already got a contract.
Work smarter, not harder.
So at least if you know this information and and you let the client know, well, look, there's already some offers on this house. They haven't accepted one yet. So if you still want to see it, then we'll see it. But they're not blaming you now because they're informed. They know that they're taking a risk. When you do what you said the other way and you don't do your due diligence, and they're looking at you like, well, you didn't do your job. Why did we come look at a house that I can't have? It's going to be your fault. It's absolutely going to be your fault. Okay? Does that make sense? So, Eliza, on pretty much 96% of the listings in FMLS, most of the time the agents are going to allow you to schedule online. So you'll see this little button on the listing to schedule a showing.
So when you click on that, and I've seen, like, I've clicked on a few just to kind of see, and the home is vacant, and it says, I'm trying to get to one, sorry, showings available 8 to 5, 8 to 5, like Monday through Friday. So you just request to see it at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, and that's that. Okay. And
then they confirm with you.
And then they confirm with you, and then I actually only looked at vacant ones. So if it's not vacant, then it'll say 9 to 2 on Tuesday, 5 to 8 on Wednesday, that sort of thing.
If they're using showing time properly, the seller or listing agent will go ahead and block out the times that are not available. So anything that's in white is an available time, unless otherwise noted. Like in the listing, it may tell you they're a day sleeper and you can only schedule during this time. If I'm trying to get a list though, because I'm betting the night before, so I don't have a whole lot of time.
Right.
So I don't have 2 hours to wait to see if you go tell me if I have a list of something to show. So if that's the house and they really want to see it, then I'll start calling and texting the agent too. I don't care, because again, my job as a buyer's agent is to get.
So you'll request it online,
property.
and then you'll send
then I'll
a
text.
courtesy text and
Yes.
just say, hey, I request to see this house tomorrow at 2. You good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you have an app on your phone?
How often? Which app?
Showing time app.
I probably don't yet. No. I didn't bring my phone today, which is so stupid. I forgot.
John, we need a class with you too.
He's already been in School of Hard Knocks. No, it takes one.
Is it, oh no.
And plus, I watched it night online too. So
Oh, you
when
did?
I was on the job, I was watching.
So
that
how
on
long?
YouTube.
I mean, what's the average turnaround for an agent to get back with you?
Oh, girl.
You have
Really?
some that
Okay.
never get
I
back
would
with
think
you.
that they'd be anxious.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting.
I had one that just kept hitting decline, wouldn't answer the phone, wouldn't answer text messages, and my client was like, that's the house, and I tried
What's
every.
the deal?
That was my
If there's a
question.
tenant or something.
And finally I ended up having to call the office and ask for the broker because for 3 days, and my client was only in town for 4. I'm trying to be able to show this house. It's showing available. And finally the agent called me back and was like, oh, it's under contract. And I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you. But then the broker called back and was like, when would you like to see it? And we went and saw it, and the agent actually showed up when we went to see it and was like, oh, it just fell out of contract, whatever. But she ended up choosing something else. But, she was like, this is the house. And I couldn't get a showing.
That is absolutely the direction I would go as well. If you can't get an answer out of the agent, call the office.
Okay.
Call
Okay.
the office.
I
'Cause
tried for
it could even be a matter of them, when they reroute the call, and when you as the agent see it coming from the principal's office, you're like, oh, let me pick up the principal's office. And you're like, oh, man, this ain't.
Now,
But, yeah,
I just
it
pulled
works.
up a listing,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no show listing time, so what
Right.
happens then?
So honestly, usually it tells you in the verbiage though how you can show.
Okay.
Like if it's either going to be.
Home is vacant, go and show, submit offers, questions.
See now, notice this one. It says owner agent must be contacted to show. 2-hour notice is appreciated. So that's not reflected on that little grid.
You gotta always look at the agent.
So you got to read the whole listing. You have to. This is also the value that you add to your client, because things will tell. You'll find out things in private remarks that the public can't see. So they're all gung ho in this house. I'm like, hey, did you know that? You
Oh,
know,
because
you're,
we're looking at
The
agent
alarm
flow.
codes and
yes,
stuff.
you got alarm codes, but more important than, well, not more important, but something that's critical that they can't get. If you found out in their consult and in their pre-approval that they're only FHA, and it tells you in here that it'll only go conventional, that's reason number one. I'm not wasting my time showing you houses you can't buy. I am in the business of selling homes. I am not in the business of showing homes.
Being a tour guide.
So like this one says, like I said,
Two
it
different
says,
things.
home is vacant, go and show, exclamation mark. So she's just saying, go. You don't need
Mhm.
me, you don't need to
Yes.
call me. Okay.
Correct.
Yes, I still, if there's a showing time option available,
Right.
I'll still make an appointment. Like I'll let them know I'm
Of
coming.
course.
That's just what I do. But if it says vacant, then again, that's on my flexible list because I can show at any time.
Yeah, okay.
Anything could happen.
But you need to read these listings, guys. Everything. Because if your client is financing, if you can get any financing information off of it, it's going to help you save time and maximize your client's time as well. Okay. A lot of these open door ones, a lot of the what they call the iBuyer,
Yeah, I'm just getting
institutions.
familiar with those. I don't know much.
they're essentially a flipper. So if your clients are FHA, they're not going to be able to buy it if they just flipped it. You need to know that, and most of the good-looking houses are that way.
What
So
is it, 3 months, right?
it's 91 days.
91 days.
Why
Got to
is
be
that?
91 days. So it just means basically if your client, you know your client is only financeable FHA,
Uh-huh.
and the property, be it an iBuyer or an
Sure.
another investor, if they haven't held the property in their possession for 91 days, they can't write it FHA. It can only go another product. It can't go
Oh, I didn't
FHA.
know that. Okay.
hmm And I promise you that will be the most disheartening experience you will have, because that'll be the house they
Of
love.
course.
And then you find out they can't buy.
Now, when you, can I just ask you a general question on
Yes,
that note?
Okay.
When you have your buyers, do most of your buyers come with a lender that they prefer to use, or do you usually send them to the ones that you prefer to work with?
I hope they do not come
Okay.
with a lender that
Okay.
they already want to use. Even if they do, by the time we're done with the consultation, they're encouraged to get a second opinion. Because remember, this is a doctor's appointment.
Right, for sure.
If
That's
I
what I'm
just told
curious.
you might have brain cancer, you're not going to take my word for it. You're going to go get a second opinion.
Right. So like, you have a buyer and she's like, okay, great. My best friend's a mortgage broker and I've done 2 deals with her so far, so she's going to do my, you know. Are you like, okay, well, let's just get a second opinion?
I'm like, Eliza, that's great. So tell me more about her business.
And
And they're going to tell me more. Okay, great. Is she a broker? Does she work for Bank of America? Like, where does she do her mortgages? Right. Okay. So, again, Eliza, my job is to help you win. So the way I'm going to do that is to be able to position your offer above everyone else's. That's going to require that your financing be immaculate and concise. So, I'm going to suggest that we get a second opinion, just so you have one to make sure that you've kept your best friend honest.
oh, geez, and what happens when they get into a fight because your
Hey,
your lender's
I'm not
better?
friends with them. You hired me to work on your best interest. So when I say that to people, I'm like, if nothing else, get a second opinion to make sure you're keeping them honest. They're going to compete for the business.
Okay, good. So you hope, I mean,
I pray that they don't use
percentage-wise,
someone else.
what do you see? That they don't come with one or they do?
most, I would say 60-40. They might come with somebody 40% of the time. Most of the time they're just handed to me. They're like, hey, so-and-so told me I need to talk to you.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm like, great, I'm your project manager. I got everything you need.
Great, okay. Got it. Just
So,
curious.
yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so we have the 3 homes. We know how to set the appointments. Call, text until you get confirmation. Have your 3 to 5, and then maybe have 2 backups just in case for whatever reason. Maybe that 3 to 5 just you couldn't get in or something happened, doors perky, all kinds of stuff, fun stuff happens. Okay, so are we good on how to set the appointments?
Yeah, 5
Okay.
minutes until 11:40.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that clock like no?
It's
It's
11:35.
Okay. So to that end, if you know it's a hot area or you know it's a hot property, go the extra step to vet it again that morning of. Make another text. Is the property still available? Do you currently have any offers? Even if it's a text. Agents appreciate text. If they're not answering their phone, they appreciate the text.
Yeah.
They'll call you. They'll connect back
Texts
with
are
you
so
much
much
quicker.
easier, yeah.
Okay.
Tashma, as you're writing that, do you set an expectation during the consultation of time and availability? I had a client that she was calling me constantly. She was texting me constantly, and anytime I did not answer or call her back within like 10 minutes, she would just start blowing it up.
She was harassing me.
I had nothing else going on. I was completely hers for a weekend when they came in, but then she came in one weekend, didn't bother to tell me she was coming. She's like, I'm here and I have some houses I want to see. How do you set that time expectation?
Because it goes along with the information sheet on when they ask or answer, how do you like to be communicated with? And if they say, whatever they say, I said, great, okay. So I'm going to definitely send you emails because that's the way you feel most comfortable. So that you know I'm always working on your behalf. The quickest way to get to me is text message. Because when I'm with a client, I never pick up my phone because that's their time.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you text me and we're showing property, I can easily text you back. If you call me, you'll get a return phone call at the earliest opportunity.
Okay, I like that. Thank you.
But I'm telling you, I'm like, look, I'm a heavy texter. That's what I tell my clients. I'm a heavy texter because I'm usually in front of a client. And you've worked with me, even in this consultation, you see I've never looked at my phone because this is your time. So understand most of the time I'm doing this. So if you text me, I'm going to get back to you a lot quicker. And then I'll follow up with a phone call if we need a phone call. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. So what are we bringing to the showing? We're getting ready to go. And we're getting ready to pack our things up. We've got our 3 houses. We've got them vetted. And what do we need? Because remember, our end game is to get to the yes. We want to say yes to a house that we show them today. We can sell a house today. That means we're 14 to 21 to 30 days from a check.
Depending on whether it's vacant or it's filled, I've seen like an agent bring like little decorative things to kind of like, you know.
When they show it or when they do open house?
Oh, that is open house. Never mind. Yeah.
That's okay. So if you're getting ready to show the house to somebody, what would you bring?
Flashlight.
Okay. Just start firing them off, guys.
Taser.
Water, yeah, definitely.
Band-Aids. Measuring tape.
The information thing for the house that you just handed us. Did you get that?
You said somebody said something else.
Umbrella.
Oh,
Umbrella,
Band-Aid.
hand sanitizer,
No, you got
Seriously?
tissue. Yeah, tissue. And the only reason why I look in my bag is
Baby
they
wipes.
actually have something
Goldfish
on
for their kids.
Baby wipes, yeah.
Maybe.
Here, I got it all right here.
I don't know where all that's
See,
going
you
to
got
go. Not in my
true
purse.
mom.
Lysol wipes for sure.
We'll put that there with.
Sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
This is trendy, Mom.
Somebody said it. Somebody said it.
Tissue?
No, I got TP. Taser. That was not the one though. But what?
Measuring.
Tape measure.
Yeah.
Mace.
When you start making the big bucks, get you one of them laser ones.
Yeah, I have the laser.
I got that with taser, mace. What else?
I have a level, like a little level thing.
Okay.
Was that included with the tape measure, the level? Did it come as one?
No, but I have both of them in my phone.
The cool thing is now with our smartphones, most of this stuff is electronic. Know where it is. Know where it is on your phone. Anything you can think, and I heard somebody say, that's just too much stuff. Listen, I'm gonna give it to you from the school of hard knocks. If it's the difference between me having to get back in the car with you and take you on yet another day when I need to schedule yet another client, I'm gonna have as much of this stuff with me as possible, because not having any one of those things, and the list is not exhaustive, by the way, those things have all stopped me from making a sale. As small as it is. Perfect. Thank you so much. As small as it is. This, woo! This, where is it? This, Lord. This.
What's the TP?
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper, yeah.
This, and these are some tricks of the trade. No matter what your shoe size is, estimate a foot and be able to walk a room off. It's imperative, because very few people have that depth perception. And when you go into vacant homes, builders do model homes for a reason. They decorate homes for a reason, because the average person is not able to visualize what that would look like with their furniture. And they automatically go, oh, it won't fit my king size bed. I got the king size bed with the big canopy and all these. And it all fits in that 10 by 12. And they don't think it will. So when you walk off the fact that a mattress is 6 feet long, doesn't matter if it's a king or a queen, and you're standing not even in the middle of the room, and like, oh, like, yeah, your bed will fit right here. Your dresser will fit. Your average dresser is 4 feet. You know, and when you know those things, I promise you that's going to help you sell that house. Because they're going to go like, oh, that room's too small. No, and this is the house. Like, you know this is the house. So you definitely want to have tape measure. If you don't have one, there's things on your phone now. There's apps. But just learn how to walk off a room. Be able to help people visualize what's in that space. Y'all don't laugh at me now. That's all right.
Deodorant?
Yes.
Yeah, because you
That for
sweat.
yourself or for
Definitely.
your clients?
For yourself. Breath, yeah.
Whoa. A mint, some gum.
Okay.
Could you imagine if your client, you need to use this,
No.
Freddie, would you like
The
some?
crazy thing is, my wife went online before she got me this bag when I first got my license, and you can see all the stuff that's wrapped up in there. It said everything that an agent should have.
She gave that to you?
And you see I got like mints and
That's a good wife.
phone charger.
No, my husband said
Ooh,
how much her
thank
husband
you.
cost me
Phone charger.
to work.
Yeah.
I was like, it's my own
You
business.
said your wife got
Build her
you.
own business.
Just looking at
Ready, Pat?
it was something online, and she got me that bag with all the stuff in it.
Guys,
I mean, are you bringing?
you believe it or not, you have a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put it. It can be in a little survival kit.
Or your glove
Like you said, your phone
Your
knocks
glove
off about 4 of
compartment.
those.
Yeah, in your glove compartment. Please bring a charged phone. At minimum, bring your charger. Bring your directions. Okay, so one more quick thing. I got 2 minutes. Perfect. That's all I need. Okay, so back here. Let me go back to. Okay, so what's our house? Our house is 6225. So, where is it?
Here, could you put within that distance?
5 miles.
You put a half a mile within the distance of the house address, right?
Yeah, I did, right.
So maybe it won't show up in the search. Or will it?
Do what?
I have 12 friends.
It'll explode.
It should have actually, but it's fine. So let me just click off a couple homes. So we got, oh, there it is, 6225, and this one. Well, this one. Okay, so Now, let's say these are the homes I'm gonna show. Get your directions
Uh-oh, we gotta pack it up, huh?
to help you map out your tour, especially if you're not overly familiar.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where'd you click off that? Because I need that, because I've just been going on like Google Maps and
Okay.
trying to figure
Show
out
us
the
how to
route.
do that real quick.
So here are my 3 homes, 4 homes, however
Yeah,
many.
let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
And then down at the bottom on the control bar, it says directions.
Uh-huh.
Click on directions, and it will put it in sequential order.
That's amazing. Okay.
Okay.
I love that. That's easy. I mean, that was like
That's
the
it.
easiest thing I've
So
ever
you
seen.
can print it off. I suggest you print it off.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna pack up. Ooh, y'all have to take those. I don't want them,
Five.
but Stacy makes us do them. So y'all
Most
please fill
informative
out your,
session yet.
fill out your feedback forms.
No, I think you want
Print
it,
them
'cause I
off
was so
though.
interested.
Do you want them? Or
Yeah. We can leave that back on the table. Please make sure you print off your directions, guys. Because if your phone dies, if your GPS goes wonky, you don't know where you're going. So do not rely just on GPS. Make sure you print out the directions. You can even go so far as to send this link email to the client, so they have it and they're ready to go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna meet at 6225.
Are you going with us?
No, we're all done.
I can show you a house. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna be right behind you. I gotta get this
I
print
am
out
like
first.
the best client ever. And I am always a client. That's why I'm here.
So does Stacy have you keep these or you leave them
Put
here?
them in the bag.
Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Yes, please make sure you fill out your feedback forms and put them back here on this table with your name card.
Exciting. I didn't know we were going on a field trip. Walked into a field trip today.
I will see you at your new house.
Yes, ma'am. You still have the other one of these, the flow chart?
Just fun.
Oh, it's
So
back
if you
there.
lose it, you're like, oh well.
I can't wear the clothes, but I do like so many
You can
things.
more than you think. Tops.
Yeah, I'm so
Jeans.
small. Like I've tried.
Like these jeans are from there.
Oh no, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of dress shop. Never mind.
No. Fabrique is literally.
Okay, yeah.
It's really fabric.
Great class.
How far is it from here?
It literally should be like 8 minutes. It should be around the corner.
It is 8 minutes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Was it informative?
Of course. So proud of it. You didn't know all this. A lot of stuff, actually.
I will see you over there.
And that's real world, and that's really what these kids need to know, because that's, you know, it's, the builders, just like you said, they know what they're doing, and as long as they do the really important stuff right, there's, not that they shouldn't build a quality house, I don't mean that, but the flashing on the, underneath the hardy plank, because what would, will they have to tear up that? Sure. Okay, and that's half of, and you told Preston that, and that's half of what we're doing. Where this is not like your house, this one house that was not done right. It would be almost abnormal if it was done right. Right, see y'all.